Hey, I apologize. Engineering fan. We have been having all kinds of technical difficulties. It has been a very interesting 3 hours. So let me go ahead and I gotta fix a few settings first. All right. Can y'all hear me? Sound check. Right. Man. Streamlabs, my computer crashed, my cloud stuff crashed. So let's go ahead and get right back into it. Welcome to another episode of Elevated. I am your host, the Elevated Engineer. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Nothing to it but to do it. And so, what is your NEN ability? So I was watching one of my favorite animes, Hunter x Hunter. This is about an organization of bounty hunters. They're called hunters. They hunt everything. People, treasure, recipes, whatever. You name it. And in the show, there's this thing called NEN. N-E-N. NEN is basically a person's ability in the show. And without getting too deep into it, it's basically a person's superpowers. So it got me thinking what my superpower is. And I think my superpower is martial arts. So like NEN in the show, martial arts has opened a whole new world to me. And a world that's always kind of been there, but I wasn't disciplined enough to really notice it. So, my point is that NEN, okay, in the show, in the Hunter organization, it's about this kid named Gon. Gon is kind of the main character. If you know anything about shonen, Gon represents basically your typical shonen protagonist. Then you have the other more or less main character who is Killua. I don't even know how you spell his name. Like Killua. Like it's crazy. He's basically, he's a kid assassin. He's kind of like the dark version, right? So in this show, they have, as I was speaking about, it's called NEN, right? And martial arts for me is like, okay, in the show there's a portion where they're competing in like this tournament, right? So I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but rock and roll with me. I know it's late. It's 1:00 on the East Coast, but there's this tournament arc that they go into. But in order to even be qualified for the tournament, they have to become hunters, and they have to. The whole first arc is about them becoming hunters and becoming a part of this organization, right? So they have to pass the hunter's exam, and this hunter's exam, I'm gonna give it to them. This hunter's exam is like, this is. I mean, I've seen a lot of anime. I mean, obviously, but this hunter exam is like the most, probably one of the toughest pre-trial examinations in any anime I've ever seen. I mean, they literally have to run straight like 43, 44 miles or something like that. Like straight up, like, and when you're watching it, you kind of get into it, and you're just like, damn, like this stuff is like hard. Not just like anime hard, which is like, all right, okay, this is like, let's take One Punch Man, like doing 100 push-ups every day. Like that's a thing. I'm talking about like, this is like hard, but you can see it as being like realistic. So you could actually see this organization operating in the real world, and people just aren't aware of it because everyone's busy doing their own stuff. So martial arts, in particular, like BJJ, Muay Thai, what I'm doing, it's really opened up this world that I've only ever kind of seen from either a distance or just never took it serious enough to actually kind of like focus. It's like my third eye is open on this whole world, this whole, I guess you can call it subculture, but okay, let's go with subculture, martial arts subculture. But it's like once you start going down that rabbit hole of like, tournaments, competitions, and what's fake martial arts, what's real martial arts, what's effective martial arts, who are the stars of this new thing that's, again, martial arts has been around ever since human beings have been defending themselves, right? But now that you're kind of, you do it, you're just like, oh, like this has been around, but it's like this whole organization, culture, just around like martial arts, and I never even noticed it. So that's why I want to talk about how martial arts is becoming my NEN ability. Back to the anime. You really get to, the characters go through a transition. Like once they pass the hunters, I don't want to reveal too many spoilers, but once they get past the hunters examination, they get back to the tournament. When they get to the tournament, they think they're badasses. Like, yo, I just passed this hunter's exam, and the hunter exam was like ridiculously hard. And I mean, 99% of the people who go through the hunter's exam fail it. and but they get to the tournament and they're just like, all right, cool. Like, I just passed that. Now what's up? Now I'm ready to go to this tournament because they had to go to this tournament. Long story. They need to go to the tournament to be able to get the item that they need to move off into the next saga. Basically, Gon, the character I mentioned earlier, he's looking for his father. In order to find his father, he has to go through all these different, trials. But, so, anyways, they get back to the tournament and they're just like, all right, you can't come in here. One of the guys like, y'all can't come in here. And then the two guys, Killua and Gon, they're just like, nah, fuck that, bro. We just came from this hunter's exam. We official. We got our badge. I'm an official, such and such. You gonna let me in? And then one dude's like, nah, you ain't coming in here. I don't care if you got a badge or not. And they're just like, why? Because they're just like, yo, you don't even realize that you ain't even at the level you need to be to get to the preliminaries of this tournament. That's how it did. Dude is just like, all right, we'll try to come in here then. So they're just like, all right, cool, fuck that. They're just like, all right. They can't even get past, like they can't even get to, like, it's ridiculous. Obviously, it's like some superpower thing. But they can't even, like, the dude's at the end of the hallway, and they can't even enter the hallway because they don't realize how weak they actually are. And he's pushing them back with his, I think it's like it's a specific word for it. It's like 10, NEN, and there's all these different things. But he's pushing them back basically with the power of his NEN ability. Think of it as like his chakra, his spirit energy, his energy level, all the typical anime superpower level shit, right? But he's pushing them back. He's not even touching them. They're just like, yo, this dude is strong as hell. So they have to go back because they can't even get into the hallway to get into the waiting room of the tournament. That's how weak they are. But these dudes was the strongest dudes where they came from. So eventually they're just like, all right, cool. So they go back and they just meet a guy who they just happen to run into, and he's a NEN user. He has a NEN ability, but you wouldn't know it when you met him, because one, you're not at that level to know how nasty he is. You see where I'm going? And two, why would he take the time to teach you this when for what? But Gone and Killer is just like, yo, I'm looking for my dad, bro. The only way for me getting this tournament is for me to learn this thing that I've never even heard of. So he's like, all right, cool. Let me show you how to do it real quick. And it's just like, yo, we only got a few hours to learn this. That's what's so cool about. So he teaches them, all the tricks of the trade of NEN ability. Again, I don't want to give it away. Oh, we're back. Damn, you see? Yeah, how great was that? You got to see me fixing my camera and everything. Blah 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 blah. Okay, whatever. So they finally learn the tricks of the trade, the basics. Every person has a unique trait of this NEN ability, and then once they get to the point where they're just like, all right, we're good enough. We got our power. So finally, they're able to get into this tournament. They're able to get into that next part of the journey. And I just wanted to just kind of parallel that with just martial arts, man. Like it literally, like literally, you start doing martial arts, and it starts affecting your daily life. And what do I mean? I mean, it starts to affect how you go about your day. How you fight is how you kind of live your life. And I know that's kind of crazy to think, bro, no, to fight, blah, blah, blah. But like how you fight, let's take BJJ, for example. How you roll in BJJ is kind of how you go about life. Like either you could be explosive, you could be sitting there thinking, you could be a guy who's always on it. You can be a guy who does not let up. You know what I mean? And I think that martial arts is my NEN ability, and I really wanted to know people, if you first of all like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate that. But what I really wanted to know, and comment too, please. But what I really wanted to know is what are people's superpower? What do you think your superpower is? I think your superpower is whatever you want it to be. But it's also your natural ability. I mean, I'm not 6'5", 300 pounds. So I'm going to think like a person who's not at that size. So, I mean, what is your NEN? What is your NEN ability? Leave a comment. Hey, my NEN is this. Because I think once you figure out what your NEN ability is, it's going to drastically change your life positively. And you're going to be able to take this universe we live in and mold it to your liking. So I think I know what my NEN ability is. The great thing about NEN is you can make it as strong as you want, and it all depends on the user. The health benefits from martial arts is second to none, to say the least. I mean, there's another thing in Hunter x Hunter that's kind of talked about. It's a really cool fact, but it's kind of like said in passing, is that hunters live to be a really old. And it's because they practice their NEN ability, their martial arts, and they're always seeking the next challenge. But the hunters, I think the oldest hunter, like, who was that guy? The old guy. He was like 130 or something like that. Looked like he was like 60. But that's just your NEN ability is your ability to be able to control and mold the world, and you find that you'll be stronger than 99% of people on the planet. Now I know you'll say, "Oh, who do you think you are? You're arrogant." Well, 1% of was maybe 6.5, 7 billion people. 1% of 7 billion is 70 million, you know? So that's 70 million people that you're probably not stronger than, or you might be stronger. Who knows? But find your NEN, man. You find your NEN and you'll find your purpose. So, that being said, next topic. Got a video I want you all to watch.
Becoming a data scientist? Keep watching this video if you're passionate about data science, because we will tell you how does it really work under the hood. Emma is a data scientist. Let's see how a day in her life goes while she's working on a data science project. Well, it is very important to understand the business problem first. In our meeting with the clients, Emma asks relevant questions, understands and defines objectives for the problem that needs to be tackled. She is a curious soul who asks a lot of whys, one of the many traits of a good data scientist. Now, she gears up for data acquisition to gather and scrape data from multiple sources like web servers, logs, databases, APIs, and online repositories. Oh, it seems like finding the right data takes both time and effort. After the data is gathered comes data preparation. This step involves data cleaning and data transformation. Data cleaning is the most time-consuming process as it involves handling many complex scenarios. Here, Emma deals with inconsistent data types, misspelled attributes, missing values, duplicate values, and whatnot. Then, in data transformation, she modifies the data based on defined mapping rules. In her project, ETL tools like Talent and Informatica are used to perform complex transformations that helps the team to understand the data structure better. Then understanding what you actually can do with your data is very crucial. For that, Emma does exploratory data analysis. With the help of EDA, she defines and refines the selection of feature variables that will be used in the model development. But what if Emma skips this step? She might end up choosing the wrong variables, which will produce an inaccurate model. Thus, exploratory data analysis becomes the most important step. Now, she proceeds to the core activity of a data science project, which is data modeling. She repetitively applies diverse machine learning techniques like KNN, decision tree, naive Bayes to the data to identify the model that best fits the business requirement. She trains the models on the training dataset and tests them to select the best performing model. Emma prefers Python for modeling the data. However, it can also be done using R and SAS. Well, the trickiest part is not yet over: visualization and communication. Emma meets the clients again to communicate the business findings in a simple and effective manner to convince the stakeholders. She uses tools like Tableau, Power BI, and ClickView that can help her in creating powerful reports and dashboards. And then finally, she deploys and maintains the model. She tests the selected model in a pre-production environment before deploying it in the production environment, which is the best practice, right? After successfully deploying it, she uses reports and dashboards to get real-time analytics. Further, she also monitors and maintains the project's performance. Well, that's how Emma completes the data science project. We have seen the daily routine of a data scientist is a whole lot of fun, has a lot of interesting aspects, and comes with its own share of challenges. Now, let's see how data science is changing the world. Data science techniques, along with genomic data, provides a deeper understanding of genetic issues in reaction to particular drugs and diseases. Logistic companies like DHL, FedEx have discovered the best routes to ship, the best suited time to deliver, the best mode of transport to choose, thus leading to cost efficiency. With data science, it is possible to not only predict employee attrition, but to also understand the key variables that influence employee turnover. Also, the airline companies can now easily predict flight delay and notify the passengers beforehand to enhance their travel experience. Well, if you're wondering, there are various roles offered to a data scientist, like data analyst, machine learning engineer, deep learning engineer, data engineer, and of course, data scientist. The median base salaries of a data scientist can range from $95,000 to $165,000. So that was about the data science. Are you ready to be a data scientist? If yes, then start today. The world of data needs you. That's all from my side today. Thank you for watching. Comment below the next topic that you want to learn and subscribe to Simply Learn to get the latest updates on more such interesting videos. Thank you.
And that was according to, what was that, Simply Learn? Okay. So right quick. Okay. So this is according to Source Insight. And so in recent years, we've witnessed a deluge of big data such as text, images, and videos. Walmart collects 2.5 petabytes of unstructured data from 1 million customers every hour. The total number of uploaded Facebook photos is 250 billion. I think it's more than that. I think that number is a little off, honestly. Twitter generates 8 terabytes of data daily. I think Twitter generates more than that. IBM claims 90% of today's stored data was generated in just the last 2 years. I can see that. Decoding the human genome, for example, originally took 10 years to process, but it can be achieved in as little as 1 week now. Okay? This is an exploding field. For real, for real. So, let's do that. Oops. Can you all see this? Let me see if I can make it a little bigger so you all can see it. All right. Now, can you see this? What this is what happens in an internet minute, which is obviously really fast. Yeah, really fast. So, as you can see this by this chart, I had to cut out the year a little bit, but smartinsights.com. These are the amount of photos is different for each one, but what the little sections are is 3 years. So I think it's from 14, 15, and 16. So inner is 14, and the middle is 15. Outside is 16. 16 or 17, something like that. But it's over a 3-year study, right? So you can just see that in a minute, Instagram, and this was from a few years ago, so it's grown. 65,972 photos are uploaded in Instagram per minute, right? And that was a pretty good summary, honestly. That video summary of the field of big data science, because data science is such a hot field right now. I mean, with just a small amount of coding, you can kind of jump really right into the field with just a little bit of Python, maybe some SQL stuff, SQL, whatever, what have you. You could really kind of jump. Really, you could just. This is why I tell people about data science so much, because it's like, even though it is coding, the amount of coding as compared to something like VR, which is, of course, the other aspect of altered reality technologies, but VR, MR, mixed reality, and really 3D spatial computing is a lot harder, to be honest. Whereas this is Python. You just learn the basics of Python. You can really kind of jump into it, just kind of have fun. When you're doing web scraping, which my video is on, my Get on Code video, which, by the way, Get on Code 2, the web scraping part 2, I should have it up by either tomorrow or Monday the latest. Honestly, I would have had it up earlier, but all this, I've been having so many. I haven't had internet in like 5-6 days, man. AT&T sucks. I hate AT&T. But yeah, so if you just check out the chart, you just see just how much information. 3.3 million posts from Facebook per minute. That this data needs to be managed, deciphered, disseminated. You name it. We need data scientists, because so much data, it's growing. It's not like it's gonna stop. People are not gonna stop using the internet. The more we use the internet, the more data is produced. The more we do anything. So you can apply this to any field, health, cardiac arrest, muscle death, all that good stuff. So that's really what I want to highlight on the data science situation. Because I mean, I'm going to keep harping on it until people really understand, you know, we need coders, we need data scientists, we need all that good stuff. So, yeah. Right. So, as everyone can see, Super Bowl 45, you know, Chiefs holding it down. But I got to ask black folks, are we still boycotting NFL? Because it doesn't seem like we are anymore. I mean, look. See, you know what I'm saying? The boys in orange, we taking it, you know? We taking it. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, last year we was kind of, I never boycotted the NFL because I thought it was dumb. Because how the fuck we go boycott the NFL, but ain't none of the players boycotting? What the right? So, you know, black folks, y'all gonna go right back to sleep. It is what it is, man. Look, I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl tomorrow. I mean, Chiefs are playing the Bucks. You know, Brady's gonna be going against my man in KC. So, you know, why not? Yeah, like Patrick Mahomes is. Yeah, I mean, you know, why not? So, I'm gonna be watching the Super Bowl. I always thought it was dumb to boycott the NFL anyway. It's always just been dumb to me. And I mean, it's 2021. Fuck it, you know. So yeah, go Chiefs, man. You know what I'm saying? Go Chiefs. All day, every day. We taking this. We taking this. I don't care. We taking this. So that's it for today's episode of Elevated. Sorry for being so late, engineering fam. I know when I re-upload this the following day, I'm gonna cut out a lot of stuff. So I think I had tried to put up earlier and that wasn't working. So like I said, thank you again. Thank you for tuning in for this week's episode of Elevated. I'm your host, the engineer that's elevated. Like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever. And thanks, fam.